Good morning, everyone. How is everyone doing on this wonderful? Well, out here it's wonderful, very gloomy, rainy, nasty Monday out here in Chicagoland. Hope you're doing awesome. Yeah, we're recovering from wonderful Vegas. Hope you all are doing well yourself. It's a Monday, everyone. I hope everyone's detoxing and everything in between from Vegas. I know for me, at least on Sunday, it was anyone that tried to call me or text me. I'm sorry, I was out cold. Like literally, we went down. I think around red zone starts at least out here is at noon, and I think by like 2 o'clock I was out cold and just slept like all of Sunday. It was great. So I apologize up front, anyone that tried to reach out to me because I just did not respond. There was not didn't respond at all. Like did not respond. So hope you all are recovering. If you weren't at Vegas, hope you had a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful weekend and had some time just to decompress a little bit because we're getting into fall here and the weather's changing and for those pumpkin spice and everything in between. So hope you had a wonderful weekend and your week has started just phenomenally well. You guys are doing great. So I feel like anytime we do any type of conference that I have to always come back to the red shiny object lesson here. It doesn't matter if it's a 20 group or a conference. We kind of have to go back. We've done this before. When Michael was on the show, Michael Searle was on the show. We did another a really good episode on this. So go back and watch that if you haven't watched that before. But we if you don't know what the red shiny, I think anyone that knows me knows if I say red shiny object, you probably know what I'm talking about. But when you're going into these conferences, you're going into any type of anything, even if you're looking to vet a potential business partner, I always say, is this a red shiny object or is this something that we're actually looking to fix? Is there a problem? But going into it and saying, okay, how can this best fit into what we're trying to do? Is this something that we can partner with this person? Going with questions. Hey, how will you work best with our people, process, and technology? And if it's just something to say, oh, that was really, really cool. I want to be part. I want that. I want that. Okay, really? Like, no. And if it really is the best thing since sliced bread, you know what? It's gonna be there in a week. Pump the brakes on a little bit. It's gonna be okay. Just because someone says it's the greatest thing, well, think about it. Like, think of it. I like to think of it as like I've got this piece of head right here, guys. That's like I'm keep eating this piece of hair. You all can't see this probably, but there's this little piece of hair we're digressing right now. It keeps like coming in my mouth. But like there's it's like a dating process. Like, you're going to date your business partner and say, okay, are we the best fit for each other? If you're not, that's okay. Like, okay, you know what? That's great, fantastic. Hey, I wish you the best and move on. And it's just so key that we slow down and think about, is this the best fit? Because too often we just jump right into it and be like, all right, let's go. Like, no, well, no, just pump the brakes there. It's going to be okay. Like, slow down. Like, it's going to be okay. And as a dealership, it's incumbent on you to ask questions because the agency or the system or the software, wherever they've done their part to be like, hey, we're the greatest thing, and they're going to sell you. And that's their job. That's their job. Your job is at the dealership is to ask questions. Like I said, going back to Michael Searle and my conversation I don't know, it's like a month ago, we talked about a lot about this is that go in and ask questions like, hey, how can you best fit them? Because your job is to ask that and to interrogate them and say, is this going to be a great fit? Because they may actually have all the great tools and whatever, but it may not just be a good fit for you. So coming on the heels of Digital Dealer, I just wanted to say, because there are a lot of great tools out there and there are a lot of good systems, but maybe there's not a good fit for you. So just slow down, make sure it's a good fit and it's the right time, because it may be all this wonderful stuff, but it may not just be the right time. Maybe you're going into a spot in your dealership right now. Maybe you don't have the right enough people, or you don't have enough, whatever it may be. You're just going through a transitional period. So maybe it's just you pump the brakes. And like I said, if it's the greatest thing since sliced bread, it's gonna be there in a month. And maybe come to find out that all of those things that they promise you are a little bit of an overselling job. So yeah, I always want to come back to this red shiny object versus long term, and maybe the shine is worn off. And I always like just to bring that up a little bit about, like I said, anytime coming off of hills of anything. So with that, with that, today is October 17th. In case you didn't know, today is October 17th. And for me, this marks today is my 14-year anniversary of my corneal transplant. So for those that are maybe have a rough time, this is not a very gory picture, but I've been asked about like, I've talked about this, I think, once before. What is a corneal transplant? What it is? We're not getting into like the details of it, but what this means, like having the optimal results, choosing the best partner, because this right here, this is what after surgery, this is what my eye looked like. So right here, you can see anyone that's watching, if you're listening to this on podcast land, you're going to have to go back and actually look at this on YouTube, but you can see it through here. I'm actually going to pull my mouse over here. All these little like glowy things, these are all stitches in my eyes. So back in 2014, actually it was earlier than that, but 2014 is when I had my surgery. And I got told that, I'm going to pull this up here. Thank you, Holly. Yeah. Tools and make sure the team is ready to, Holly says, so I'm going to go back here. Holly says, yeah, tools are just tools. Make sure your team is ready and willing to use them. It was so great meeting you, Holly. It was great meeting you. Thank you so much. So I had perfect vision. And then long story short, I went from perfect vision. I just couldn't see so well. Went in and got told I had a wonderful thing called keratoconus, which is a big scary word. This means that your cornea thins. And the exact quote I was told was, worst case scenario, you're going to have a corneal transplant. I kid you not, you're never going to get there. And in 5 years, I went from perfect vision to almost completely blind. So I was told at the point that like, hey, we're at that point. And I was like, I was very arrogant at the time. I was young and I was told, hey, you're good. That's where you're at. I'm like, no, that can't be the case. That can't be the case. So everything had to align for me to get to the spot where the best doctors landed in my lap. And so I go to these doctors literally just to prove this other doctor wrong. Like that was my whole mindset. But I went with a lot of questions, but the whole thing was to prove this other doctor wrong. So go in and the doctor just looked at me. Anyone that knows me, I've torn and broken about everything, ruptured about everything. And so my whole thing was to go prove this doctor wrong. And I was very arrogant. And he just looked at me and he just like, I don't think you quite understand. And this is where the partners come into play. Now, this person didn't know me from Adam, just knew that he's looking at the facts versus, hence the facts, not feelings. He's looking at the facts of it saying, how did you drive down here? How are you functioning? I just said, I just do. Like, what are you talking about? And he's like, your cornea is going to split open in like matter of a week or two. Like, we have to do surgery immediately. And my whole feeling was like, what are you talking about? Like my whole world is being turned upside down. Like I'm being told you can never play context. And I played every sport under the sun. My whole world I was very young. I was in my 20s. I was being told everything. I was like, what are you talking about? And at the time, the surgeon is telling me all these things that I don't want to hear. At the same time, he understands that this is very difficult for me to hear. And so he's providing me options that he knows are not good options, but he knows that, hey, this person doesn't want to hear this. And as he leaves, his assistant comes back in and just says, just so you're aware, this is probably one of the worst cases we've ever seen. The only reason he's giving you options is because you want to hear them. And at that moment, I just go, holy shit, this is really serious. She goes, yeah, like, Brooke, I don't think you understand how bad this is. Like, if you wait any longer, if you take these other options, you're probably not going to be able to see in the near future. I was like, holy crap. So it took me like putting my ego aside to understand, oh, wow. So having the best doctors and understanding moving forward, because that surgery, for anyone that hopefully you've never had the surgery, and obviously technology has got much better since then, 2014, this is a surgery that was horrific. And I can't explain the amount of pain that comes with the surgery. It's not hey, LASIK, you're actually taking, I'm not going to get too graphic, but you're having actual scalpels in your eyeballs. I actually awakened during the surgery. It was a horrible surgery. I was out of work for a year. So the partnership between myself and these doctors there are not words for it. You have to, for the rest of your life, have this partnership. And every 6 months I fly back to Utah. And I say this all is that we have to be on the same page every single day. My whole life got turned upside down. I knew that, okay, everything I do in the morning, the medicine I take, the anti-rejection medicine I take, everything I do is for one goal. And they know everything that they do is for one goal. And if we go off course for 1 minute, that puts my vision in jeopardy. And as we were talking, I was at my last visit a couple months ago, and we are just talking about how like some people don't even go back for their 6 month checkup. Like you should go, if it's a transplant, you got to make sure that there's not 6 months today. And I just go, How do people not go back after 6 months? Like, that is absolutely insane to me. Like, that's your vision. So, it before I go any further, Steve, yeah, thank you so much, Steve. Really, really appreciate it. Really, it was awesome seeing you. Absolutely awesome seeing you there, and actually meeting you, Steve. How the times we've been together and done podcasts together and conferences together. To actually see you, Steve, was amazing. It's just amazing to me that I understand this is vision we're talking about, but we bring this full circle to what we do in automotive. In automotive, now, are we gonna lose our sight in automotive? No, we're not gonna lose our eyesight in automotive. But what we do when it comes to our partnership, are we vetting our partners to say, "Hey, have I asked enough questions? Have I done what I need to do to find the right partnership?" And then once I do that, are we on the same goal and on the same path to say this is where we need to go? Because if not, man, one little movement, one direction can really get us off course because if it's one, it might be two, then it might be three, and then it might be four. And it makes a big, big difference because you got to get back on course, make those course corrections, and all these little things. It's such a big difference, and it got me really thinking today. I was like, man, I can't believe it's been 14 years, and it's something as simple as, well, I'm not gonna go, I'll just miss that one 6-month checkup. I don't need, I'm just gonna miss one. Well, what if in that one 6-month checkup that you missed, you develop some rejection in your transplant? Or, I'm too tired tonight to do the regimen that I'm supposed to do to make sure that I don't have some infection in my eye. Or, man, it's just so much work to do this and this. Or I played every sport under the sun and I got told you're done. You cannot do that anymore. Well, I really want to play it, and that sucks. I want to play all my sports again. Well, if I do that, I can pop my stitches, and well, I'll let you all guess what that means if your stitches pop in a cornea. It's not a good situation. So there's all these things that you have to do. Well, you don't have to. You can choose whatever the hell you want to do. The same thing applies in business. If we just tell our business partners, I don't want to be a partner with you. You guys just do whatever the hell you want to do over there, and I'm going to do whatever the hell I want to do over here. Well, where do you think you're going to end up? Like, if you're going this way and you're going this way, like, what do you think's going to happen? Like, seriously, it just we make things really difficult sometimes when they don't need to be difficult. So yeah, yeah, as Steve says here, is vision, whether it's through our eyes or executive in our business plan or with our partners. We benefit from both every day, and it's very, very true. So it just got me really thinking today. I was like, man, I can't believe it's been 14 years. Like, the time has flown. The first few years are very, very difficult. Very, very difficult. Like I said, I couldn't drive for a year. They tell you like you can't look down, and keep in mind, technology has changed a lot since then. But I couldn't look down. I think for the first like month, it was just yeah, horrific, horrific surgery. Not something. Like I said, I've ruptured, I've torn about everything, and that was a very, very difficult one. And there's no way I could have done it without them. Like, I am forever in debt to the transplant team, the donor, like everything. And it's because of those partnerships where I can, living in Chicago, I send one email and I have more stories where we are trying to find teams out here of to try to fit because once you have a transplant, to try to fit a contact on that eye is very, very difficult. So we're trying to have someone out here take figured out. They couldn't figure it out. I literally sent one email to my contact specialist out in Utah. He goes, I know what's wrong, after one email. And that's the key here, is that with our partnerships is that they know us so well because we have the communication. And there's a difference between talking and communicating. Way, way different. One email to my doctor, and he goes, oh, I know what's going on. And I had been trying to see someone out here for like probably 2 months. And I got told everything in the sun. They couldn't figure it out. Oh, it's so hard to fit a transplant. And I go, well, no shit. That's the point. Like, but you're supposed to be a specialist. One email to my doctor. He goes, I know what's wrong. Sent out a contact, got it fixed. And it's when we have those relationships and those communications with our partners, that's the key. So have that. And are we choosing partners that will be with us through thick and thin, at literally thinning, like thinning of my cornea, like have those communications, have the relationships. And with that, I'll wrap it up here because it is a Monday. I know things are crazy. And this Friday, we have on the show the one and only, I'm gonna say rock star, because if you've been around Steve for even 2 seconds, you know he is a, I'm gonna go like this, you're watching rock star. He will rock it on any karaoke machine that there is present. If there's an 80s or maybe even early 90s track, he is rocking that mic like none other from Drive Centric. He's on the show on Friday, and man, it's I can't guarantee what's gonna happen on the show on Friday, but I'm sure it is going to be a rock show for sure on Friday. I'm so excited to have Steve on the show on Friday. So we're gonna be talking CRMs, but because it's Steve, we're going to be finding ways to find those golden nuggets out of the CRM, how to work the CRM, and how to, because anyone that knows Drive Centric, it's a different type of CRM. So I'm really, really excited to have Steve on the show on Friday. So everyone, I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day. Super, super stoked to have everyone back, and just the great time we had in Vegas and seeing everyone and putting faces and names and faces. And oh, I forgot tonight we've got Steve. You just made me think of that having your name up there. We've got Fixed Ops Roundtable night. We've got an After Dark special tonight with a super mega panel tonight. So this Fixed Ops Roundtable, we are going to try to staying away from the hospital. I have like over here like 10 masks that we're going to test out, and hopefully none of them have metal on them. So we're going to hopefully stay away from the hospital. Fingers crossed on that one. So Ted, super excited to be on the panel tonight, and everyone else, if you're not there, honestly, I don't remember the time. I've got like, I think 7 emails that have came in about it, and I honestly don't remember the time, but I'm going to hit the microphone on top of that. So everyone, have a wonderful rest of your day. We're looking forward to see everyone tonight, and then on Friday with Steve. All right, everyone, have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.